to the gates, Erickson. I am back with my NALCS rankings. We are going to be doing the middle of the table. I'm trying to get my chat up. It does not seem to be wanting to work with me here. Oh, there we are. Anyways, once again, we're doing the middle of the table. My NALCS rankings, out of the top 10 teams in the North American LCS, which is, again, League of Legends. I'm getting my timer here so I don't go over because I love talking about this stuff. I'm going to be placing the 10 teams from the NALCS in order from 10 to 1. My last video was 10 through 8. That was the bottom of the table. We're going to be doing the middle of the table, which is 7, 6, and 5. And I will be talking about what teams I've placed there and why I have placed them there. My stream's really just kind of lagging on it right now. Oofta, that's rough. Well, anyways, we're going to dive right into it, starting with number 7. Oh, my number 7th pick is EchoFox. And it was very hard to decide between Envy, Phoenix 1, and EchoFox who to put in 7th place on top of all of them. Because these are the 3 teams that performed not so well last split, and while they did get some upgrades, they definitely looked like really good teams going into last split and didn't turn out okay. Envy looked really strong, turned out to be like a 6th place team. And then Phoenix 1 looked really bad and then had its glorious moments for toppling TSM and has a really stacked lineup this year, but I think EchoFox is going to take it for the 7th spot and just sneak its way into the middle of the pack. The roster for EchoFox roster, as far as I know, is Looper in the top lane, Acadian in the jungle, Froggen in the mid lane, Keith is their AD carry, and Gate as their support. Let's talk about the upgrades. Acadian over... I don't even remember. I don't even remember who their jungler was. Acadian, though, is definitely a strict upgrade from their last jungler. Hard. Was it Hard? Yeah. I think Hard was their jungler, and Acadian's definitely a strict upgrade over that guy. I've heard of Acadian. I'm pretty sure he's a very high ranking player in solo queue in NA. I might be wrong again there, but he definitely is a better jungler than Hart was, and hopefully he meshes with Froggen and Looper. I'm pretty sure he'll mesh with Keith and Gate rather well, and if he can mesh with Froggen and Looper, this team will be able to contest in it for top 6. However, Keith and Gate, again, I have this issue. This is why placing Envy, Phoenix 1, and EchoFox was really hard, but EchoFox just makes it out, mostly because of Froggen and Looper. But the hard part for me to trust about this is Keith and Gate. While Gate is an upgrade from Big as their support, Keith is once again one of those mediocre bot lanes that makes this team kind of fall by the wayside as comparatively to the other teams in the NALCS. I believe that this could possibly be a top 4 team if they tried hard enough because, well, once again, it's a utility AD carry role right now. You don't have to hard carry from the bot lane. That's kind of why I'm having a hard time placing so many of these teams together is their AD carry roles their AD carry bot lanes are kind of all kind of good, but like not outstanding, but they don't need to be, and that's the issue with this meta for me, is I can't gauge at how well a certain player's skill will affect due to the fact that their role might not have as much of an impact as another person's role due to the current meta. However, if there's going to be any player on this team who has an impact due to the meta, it's going to be the top laner Looper. He is a Korean player. He's imported from China. I believe he played on RNG, and he is coming to this top lane. He is an ex-League of Legends Worlds champion. He played on Samsung White when they won Worlds. He has his own skin. This man is incredible. He looks like he's in the top four top laners in this region. I'd definitely be willing to put him there. Looper has always impressed me in his games. I've loved watching him play ever since Season 3. I definitely went and watched some of the old VODs once I found out who Looper was, once he left the LCK. But I'm a big fan of Looper, and I think he can totally dominate in the top lane. He can shine brighter than most of the top laners I have talked about so far, and some of the ones coming up. He definitely will put he would definitely challenge for the top laner, the best top laner in the NALCS, to word that better. And then there's Froggen. He's a rock in the mid lane. He's very good as a late game shot caller. He's very mechanically proficient. His champion pool is the only part to hit, and how well he meshes with Acadian will be up to, how Acadian even meshes with the entire team will be up for grabs, and that is why I am placing Echo Fox in 7th, because there are a lot of issues. The bot lane is kind of meh, but if Acadian can mesh with the team, Keith and Gate don't get punished too hard, Looper and Froggen can legitimately take over games. Anyways, on to 6. We get 5 and 6, the dead middle of the packs. This was also really hard. It was really hard for me because I wanted to put some of this higher, but since I don't know a lot about League of Legends, I had to play it safe and put Immortals in 6th. Their top laner is Flame, their jungler is Dardoch, their mid laner is Pobelter, their AD carry is Cody-san, and their support is Ole. Now, Flame, Dardoch, Pobelter sounds pretty stacked. A lot of these players, though, Pobelter always has missed his mark a little bit in the NALCS. Flame has had some attitude issues in the past, in the LCK, LPL, wherever he's been. I'm not sure if he's been to... I'm pretty sure he was LPL last time I checked, and then LCK. He's always kind of been in and out of benches, attitude issues. Same thing with Dardoch. Dardoch has had attitude issues in the past. Both him and Flame, though, are extremely mechanically proficient, mechanically talented, mechanically gifted, whatever you want to call it. These guys will hard carry you games if they have the willingness and attitude to do it. That is why they are high up on the list. This team definitely could have fallen farther down, but Dardoch and Flame and Pobelter being a rock in the mid lane, possibly being in top 4, definitely top 5, always in the conversation for best mid laner in NA. Not quite made the cut yet, but he's definitely up there. Dardoch having so much latent potential, and Flame having such a good legacy in the top lane. This team definitely gets put in 6th. Even though their AD carry and support I know almost nothing about. I know Ole is a Korean I think I know that Ole is a Korean import. I'm not quite sure. I'm pretty sure he is a Korean import. From what I've heard about him, from all of the roster rundowns, he sounds pretty good. Cody-san, though, is a complete unknown to me, and I don't remember anything that I've heard about him. So I had to put them in 6th because I just don't know what their bot lane can do, and I'm worried that some of the bot lanes that I think are kind of just meh could possibly outlane this bot lane. I think Echo Fox might be able to, like, if Keith can, he can. If Keith is good enough to outlane Cody-san, then Echo Fox could take a jump into 6th. Same with Phoenix 1. Phoenix 1's bot lane could definitely challenge this bot lane, I'm pretty sure. And that star-studded lineup could possibly take over that game there. But this again, they're basically dead middle of my pack. just right up there. They could switch places with 5. They could switch between 5 and 6, or 6 and 7th. Like these teams that are like between 7 and 5 are kind of just interchangeable, and it's really hard to say that because between 9 and 7 are pretty interchangeable. So this middle of the pack is kind of hard to do, but since I know nothing about the Immortals bot lane, and I know that Dardoch and Flame have kind of had attitude issues in the past, then even something with Pobelter where he left the team he was on, I'm pretty sure it was CLG, he left because he didn't want to play with he wanted to be the only mid laner, and they wanted to have him and Hu-He together, and he didn't want any of that, so he left. So there's possibly a lot of attitude on this team, a lot of character and ego that needs to be built around. But anyway, that is why I'm putting them in 6, is they have the possibility of making really high highs, like top 4. Definitely possible if they work together, and Cody Sun and LA turned out to be great together. But low lows if the team doesn't work together. Because there are so many other teams that are willing to just take this spot away from you. Anyways, our last one for the middle of the pack will be Team Liquid, coming at 5th. I wanted to place this team over CLG, because I just did. But the roster for Team Liquid is Lorlo in the top lane, Reignover in the jungle, Golden Glue / Link in the mid lane. They were very proficient about that being like half and half, whereas Envy also has Alex Itch in its mid lane, but they weren't. I don't know if that was going to actually be 50-50, but it sounds like Golden Glue and Link will be like 50-50. Piglet is the returning AD carry. I'm super happy to see Piglet as the returning AD carry. He's probably the reason why they're so high on my list. And Matt, also, reason they're high on my list. Matt and Piglet, let's just start off with it. Matt and Piglet, Korean NA bot lane. Piglet, being Korean, he used to play on the original SKT. He came over, he left SKT, he said he wanted to play in another region. Fine success. He has been stuck in 4th place ever since joining Liquid, which is a little sad, but him and Matt are a shining star of bot lane shining stars. When they play well together, they play amazingly. The only issue is the meta might not favor Piglet's champion pool, but if Piglet, I believe Piglet has the mechanical proficiency to work around this. He can still maybe play Ashe, he can still maybe play Jhin. Even these utility carries he can shine on, and Matt is a very good support. One of the reasons that they kind of popped out and are so high on my list is because Matt and Piglet are not a bad bot lane, even though like most of the bot lanes that have been below them are either untested, like Cody Sun, Ole, or KT, or Arrow, and oh gosh, Adrian, I'm sorry, I had to burp. Those are 2 untested bot lanes, or the bot lanes are just kind of meh. Like Hakuho and Apollo. Teams like that. Like, that's the only issue. They stand out. They are a great bot lane. They can take over games where you wouldn't expect them to. The issue with this team is going to be Golden Glue, Link in the mid lane. They both, while doing really well, Golden Glue has definitely dominated the challenger scene. But when he gets into the NALCS, he seems to not quite make it. Same thing with Link. Link, while he's been in the the NALCS scene before, he's seemed like he hasn't quite hit his mark. Kind of like Pobelter, but Pobelter definitely has a higher ceiling than Link, in my opinion. So these mid laners seem to not hit their mark whenever they end up being in the NALCS, and that's kind of worrisome. But it definitely can be played around because Reignover and Lorlo can definitely supplement that. Lorlo may possibly make it into the top 5, into the top 5 best top players in NA. It's definitely possible. He definitely has the ceiling. He definitely did very well. Him and Dardoch last split did very well together. There was great team synergy there, and if Reignover and him can learn to have that synergy, he will do just as well. He can play carries, he can play tanks, he can play whatever you want him to. He seems to do very well. This team is just well-rounded, and while it has a little bit of drawbacks, it makes up for it in being just consistent. And that is why I've placed them in 5th. Sadly, they have been debunked from their consistent 4th place spot. So, when I come back in the next video, this is the middle of the table. The next video will be the top of the table, top 4. I had to do top 4 because I want to talk about top 4. Because top 4 is where you really want to sit as a team. If you're expected, you really want to sit in top 2. But top 4 will be a little bit longer of a video, and it will be definitely fun to talk about. Sadly, these 3 teams in the middle of the table just missed out. And I believe they definitely have the potential to make it there, if they work well enough together. Anyways, I'm super excited for the NALCS this year. My name is Jackson. This has been my NALCS rankings. And if you like what you saw, please remember to like and subscribe. I forgot to say that at the end of the last video. Please do it for me. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next rankings video.